Even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal.
This in mind, that we are all here with, ideas, we are all here trying to bootstrap our visions. One of this, we have with us very interesting three gentlemen who have come from all the way from United States. They are doing a very interesting project. I met them yesterday and I told them about the community, and it was very nice of them that they're from Sharjah. They basically came here all the way to them. Please give it a big round of applause to our guests, Mr. Edwin Rodney, Theo Ratliff, and Mr. Nat Morgan, please. So I just want to introduce them. They basically initiated, they started it already, the company. It's in US. They convert plastic waste into energy, into fuels. So with that, Edward, I am going to share this to you. Please tell us more about your company, please, and then we're going to talk more about it.
Hi everyone, very nice to meet you all. Name is Edward Rodriguez. My background is I'm a quantitative risk analyst and a financial engineer. Our company turns plastic into sustainable aviation fuel and garbage into energy. How we came about to find this problem was actually not directly through the recycling. As a financial engineer, I was recommended by a large investment bank to create a financial structure for a large airline. And while creating the financial structure, I discovered that that airline was consuming 2.3 billion gallons of jet fuel a year. After seeing that and finalizing the financial structure, I started doing research in the whole industry. US alone consumes about 17 billion gallons of jet fuel a year. Now, all of the airlines worldwide signed an agreement that by 2050, they will all be sustainable. They were given the choice to either fly less to reduce their emissions or to become sustainable. They all chose to allegedly become sustainable by 2050. Now, in the US case, there's less than 0.1% of the jet fuel that is used today comes from sustainable aviation fuel. That is the solution and they know it. The problem is, even the deal that I created the financial structure for, they were paying for their feedstock. And it's not a successful model in the sense that it will only break even. It will not make any money. So obviously it is very hard to meet demand when you're not making money from creating sustainable aviation fuel. We found technology where we can turn plastics into sustainable aviation fuel. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the plastic problem in the world. There's over 1.8 trillion metric tons of plastic in the ocean today. That accounts for about 250 pieces of plastic for each human in the planet. Okay? It is sad. The problem is only keeps increasing. We partnered up with a group called the Ocean Cleanup. They're taking the plastic out of the ocean, and when I asked them, where are you putting the plastic? He goes, well, unfortunately, the plastic goes to landfills, and then from the landfills, it ends back up in the ocean. So it's a circle. Now, understand that the plastic in the ocean ends up on our food chain, because we end up eating the fish. So it's a big problem. We're also working on helping solve the garbage problem. One of our units turns garbage into energy. So in the US, there's a large deficit of landfills. And similar to the rest of the world, there are countries that they found, large developed countries found, well, we have a garbage problem. But you know what? Small nation in Africa will know how to deal with it. So they will send their garbage to a smaller country somewhere else, thinking that that country is going to have a solution. Unfortunately, that country is going to put the garbage on a landfill, and it will end up in the environment sooner or later. One of the things that our technology and our company can do is we're using technology that's been used for years. The difference with our tech is the manufacturers have been able to scale it. So our plants can process each unit 250 metric tons of garbage a day. That's per plant, okay? So that means that in a facility that we have, a plant will be processing around 1,500 metric tons of garbage a day, 720 metric tons of plastic a day. Understand that the reason our model is successful is because we get paid to take that garbage and plastics. I will let Nate talk to you guys about his family and the problems they're facing and why for them what we're doing is also a big help.
Hello. Thanks for everybody coming today. We appreciate you being here. My family owns approximately 18 garbage companies from Chicagoland down to Florida, east of the Mississippi. In Chicagoland alone, we have a demand for over 10,000 metric tons a day. That's a lot. So finding a way to avoid the landfills just in the Chicagoland area would be beneficial to the planet and the environment and to children. The plan is now, because of the state of Illinois, it will be at capacity for all permitted landfills within the next 7 years to find a sustainable model. And we plan on using the model that Edward was speaking of before. We're going to convert all MSW, which is municipal solid waste, into electricity. We will be paid to take in the garbage with something called a tipping fee. We're getting paid per ton to take it. And then we will sort that garbage, separate the plastic from that garbage. We will also be paid separately from plastic companies. Companies that you guys know of and use, like detergent companies. Even if the detergent is unused and brand new in your house, if you throw that in your garbage can, that garbage can automatically gets determined as hazardous waste. It's not regular waste, it's hazardous. It's clean if you're using it to wash your clothes. But legally, if any of that detergent touches any of your other garbage, it's called hazardous waste, because once it gets into the ground, it contaminates the groundwater. So what we plan on doing is taking the soap out, recycling the soap, selling that, and we'll take the plastic, convert that into aviation fuel, sustainable aviation fuel, and we'll get paid for that as well. Our model allows us to get paid for everything that we bring in that's bad for the environment per ton, and then we get paid again after we remake it into something clean and helpful for the environment. The sustainable aviation fuel reduces CO2 emissions by all aircraft by 80%. That's a lot. That would change the globe as far as how much healthier the air we breathe would be. The facilities also allow us to make other fuels, gasoline, any type of fuel you've ever heard of, we can make it out of that same oil. It's just a refining process with different additives, but the true need that has the most impact for the planet at this time would be sustainable aviation fuel.
Theo, do you want to add to it?
No, I'll just speak on, my involvement really with this team is to make them look good, That's the whole purpose of it. No, so I'm Theo Ratliff. I played 17 years in the NBA on several different teams around the U.S. And one of the main things that I'm even more proud of is I was a big part of the Players Union. And I come from a service family. My mother, we grew up in the church, we serviced elderly, we did everything in the community. So community has always been a big part of who I am. Every city that I played in, I was very involved in the community and servicing, working with kids, working in the community to make the community better. So this opportunity came to me, especially after retirement. This became a passion project for me. I helped bring the team together. So I knew, I got to meet Edward here actually in Dubai about 4 years ago at a family office event in which we were pitching another company that we had before. And I went to him personally to understand what his business was and what he did as far as with this quantitative analysis, risk analysis purposes. Through the process of learning about the Delta airline and the insufficiency of the SAF that they have available, we went out to seek out opportunities in this area, which I ended up meeting Nate and learning about his family and having the ability to bring the intake in with the garbage and different things of that nature, and understanding about how to turn the paralysis oil into the SAF and the garbage into energy and all these different things of that nature. So I helped to kind of bring this all together. We have the financial guru, and then we have the guy with all the supply. So it was a marriage made in heaven. So that's how I got involved in this opportunity, and we're very excited about having the opportunity to service the people, because like I said, this is a worldwide problem, and we're not just looking to do this in the US. This is something that's global, and we're looking for the opportunity to help people around the world with bringing these plants everywhere we can to help process this trash in the plastic.
Thank you so much.
So Edward, you've been here. Let Edward have the mic, because then I'll have a talk with him. So Edward, what do you think? You've been here in Dubai, you've been here in UAE. What is it that you're looking for this place? Is it the partnerships? Is it the investments? Is it what are the most important things that you are trying to create the opportunities here for?
So the reality is, and we had this conversation internally with our board. We need $802 million to do the first two plants. I already have 640 of that, single-handedly, because of my background, right? So I was able to go to a large financial institution that I have done a lot of work with, show them the financial structure I built, and FYI, one of the financial structure I'm using, because I mixed two to make the deal a great deal, is a financial structure that I built for a client of theirs. Okay? So I asked them permission, because when I build a financial structure for a financial institution, it's theirs, it's not mine. I build it, but it's theirs. So I told them, I would like for you to allow me to use this financial structure for a business I put together. Because the reality is, I feel like this is the best financial structure for it. Now, the reason I didn't collect all the money that we need from my own sources is because I didn't want it to be only a corporation that was about the institutions, right? I wanted to be able to say, hey, regular people can invest even $5,000 into our door. Because at the end of the day, it's not just the money. What we're doing is needed worldwide. There might be someone that signs a $5,000 check, and yes, that $5,000 check, day one, based on the financial structure I created, is about $30,000. Day one of the investment. Not only that, that $5,000 will make 3.5% interest on their money for the first 3 years, risk-free, through a financial structure with JP Morgan that doesn't cause any problems or affects the cash flow of the company or the money we raise. Okay? So understand that this is using financial structure at the highest level, and being able to say, yes, you only got $5,000, but maybe that person knows somebody in country X that can get us access to fix the problem in that country.
So with this 162 million, which is left that you needed for, are you going to create these trusts? And this is why you wanted to bring in your financial innovation to combat this issue?
So the plastic problem is worldwide, right? Even here, there's a company that we're talking to here called BPN. They currently today have a garbage to energy plant. But their plastics, they're literally getting rid of it and having to pay to get rid of it. So we're planning to partner up with them, take care of their plastic, turn it into sustainable aviation fuel. Plus, I've met, you were at the launch last night. A lot of the people you saw at that launch, some of them were my connections directly, some of them were people that I've met in the past, or people that were invited through friends of mine, right? So I put together multiple groups of people, like similar to what you saw last night, and asked them, how can you help? The problem we're solving is big, okay? It's big, and unfortunately, nobody was or has been able to make it profitable enough for people to care. Well, if profit was the problem before, it's not the problem anymore.
Right.
Because we're making it more profitable than anything you can think of.
So what's the problem now, in your opinion?
The problem is going to be adoption. Because obviously, even though we have this huge problem, we have to partner mainly with governments. The garbage problem is at a governmental level. In the US, we don't have that problem. In the US, the garbage industry is controlled by corporations. About 90% of it, okay? So it is easier if you have access to one of the large families that own one of the largest garbage companies in the country, because they have the problem. Their problem is, if the landfill space ends, where are they going to put the garbage? We're taking it. Now, with the other countries similar to here, or like the Dominican Republic, which is where I'm from, and we already have an agreement with the country, I had to go meet with the president to get something done, right? Because, again, it's at the governmental level that problems are fixed in some of the countries. So here, we're looking to work with either the government or with that company that is already doing recycling at a large scale to be able to help. And at the same time, we're raising the 160 mil. We already have 37.4 million of the 160 mil that are secured. So we're looking for people that want to be a part of this, want to be able to help, want to be able to say, hey, if I can pose about the problem, or because this is the thing, the problem is so big that it affects every single living thing in the planet.
Right, I mean, this particular awareness has been a lot in UAE, especially after COP28. I'll open the floor to the audience here if anybody has a question or suggestions or inputs. Anybody? Yes?
So you did mention that you're doing the conversion from plastic to jet fuel. So I believe there's a particular name for that, pyro or something, and there's
Paralysis.
Paralysis, yeah. Sounds like paralysis. But my question is, what is the efficiency of that transfer? Because it is going to require energy. I believe you heat up plastic to very high temperatures. So that also requires energy, and wherever there's energy, there's a carbon footprint to that. So do we have an analysis as to is the jet fuel that you get from burning plastic, is that more efficient than the jet fuel?
So the beautiful thing with the plants that we're using is that they're 100% self-sustainable. The pyrolysis oil that the plastic convert to,
Yeah.
a portion of that is used as the fuel to power the plant.
Oh yeah,
Okay?
that's smart, yeah.
So it's 100% sustainable. We don't have an electric bill on any of our plants.
So you're saying that the net process is thermally positive.
Correct.
Okay, that's brilliant. That's good.
Yeah.
So
Because again, the same plastic we're burning turns into pyrolysis oil. The fuel for the plant is the same pyrolysis oil. So it's not like we're buying fuel to put into the plant.
okay, but so you're burning the fuel, and because you're burning the fuel, you're deriving energy out of the fuel that you're burning.
So-
okay, that makes sense.
There's two different plants. There's one plant that processes garbage. that plant turns into energy. Everything that that plant creates through the garbage turns into energy.
Like biomass.
Yes.
Biomass. Okay.
Yes. Now, the other plant, the pyrolysis system, creates a pyrolysis oil from the plastic. The fuel consumed by the plant itself is the same pyrolysis oil. It consumes about 10% of the creation. At the same time, the manufacturer we're working with told us conversion rate per metric ton of plastic is 45 to 55%. That is the highest conversion rate on any pyrolysis system that exists today. We are underwriting only at a 15%. We're underwriting only at a 15% conversion rate because I'm a risk analyst. I'm not going to take the highest number. If you look at our financial projections, everything, even the gallon of jet fuel. Today, the sustainable aviation fuel price per gallon is $11 to $14 a gallon. In our model, in our financial model, we are assuming we're selling that for $7.69. I'm a risk analyst. I'm going to look at the worst case scenario always.
Yeah.
We have buyers to purchase 100% of our jet fuel already. We have our plastic supply and our garbage supply secure.
So all of this plastic is waste plastic.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really so. And yeah, it's very impressive. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just want to make sure, because you asked a very good question. There is nothing wasted in the system. We even have heat collectors. Because just like with your car, most of the energy is wasted when you convert gasoline to make your car run. A lot of that's lost with heat. We collect the heat tube and convert that into electricity. So we don't want to waste anything.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Anybody? Yes.
Thanks so much for telling about your amazing startup, and I have a really interesting, maybe I just missed, I don't know. So how many kilos of plastic and garbage are you burning? And how many kilos is the rest that you can do nothing with it?
The plastic units, we do small ones and they're modular. So each one of the plants looks approximately like a trailer on the back of a semi-truck. It's about those dimensions. Those do 120 tons, 120 metric tons per day. So that's about, what, 5 tons an hour? You can stack them. It's plug and play, just like a computer or Lego blocks. You stack them, plug them together. You stack 2, it's 240. The problem that we have in the garbage side is we need this startup to get to 10,000 tons a day. Once we do that, it turns into a monster because every garbage company in the region will immediately say, stop using the landfills regionally and nationally. And that'll be a good day. It'll take us some time to manufacture enough plants to get to that particular level. It's almost like when the first Tesla factory was ever built. Once he turned it on, was able to turn it on, and that factory was self-sustainable with no people inside, and it was building Teslas on its own, that's what we have to get to. We have to build enough plants to get to at least 10,000 tons a day so we can cut the landfills off in like the Chicagoland area. Obviously New York, 40,000 tons a day.
So you're not even at 2% capacity is there right now.
Our original, our start would be, our original plan to start, we would be at approximately what, it was 1,500 for plastic and for...
720 for plastic, 1,500 for garbage.
Right.
And to touch point on her question, there is no plastic that we will turn away. The plastic that's not good enough to convert into sustainable aviation fuel, we can put it into the garbage unit. The garbage unit can even take tires, and the plastic unit can also take tires. Every single metric ton of garbage that arrives to our facility, which I think that was your question, will be recycled. There is nothing that will turn around. And the reason I use, instead of taking The 45 to 55% conversion rate the manufacturer gave me is exactly that. Because if I have plastic that won't give me the 45 to 55% conversion rate the manufacturer told me, I'm not gonna sit on it. I'm gonna process it even though I'm getting a lower conversion rate. Because my thing here is I want to truly solve the problem.
And the time period for it? Like how soon is you're gonna push that?
The first plant development starts in September.
Okay.
We had our first franchise sold to the Dominican Republic, which is where I'm from. I met with the president there, and they have a huge problem with plastic and garbage. They donated the land. We have a great deal with them. We're helping them solve their garbage and plastic problem.
Right.
By month number 22, both facilities will be fully completed.
All right. Anybody else? Yes.
Just a small question regarding the kind of types of plastic that you're processing. So basically, what you're getting from supplier is the plastic, but plastic has like different compositions, the different chemical consistency and so on. So how do you solve this problem, and how do you kind of process these differences in that composition?
So I'll cover at the top and then I'll pass it to Nate because he's more of an expert on it. But you see that every bottle you touch has a little number on it?
Yeah.
That pretty much defines how hard it is to recycle it. Our plant can take it all. Now, to get to the semantics, I'll let Nate go to it.
This is very simple. A milk carton is high density polyethylene. A PET bottle is low density polyethylene. The calorie count for anything you've ever eaten or touched, even if you can't eat it, it has a calorie count. A Pepsi can has a calorie count of 150 calories in America. The calorie count on a milk carton, a milk gallon, is higher than your PET bottle. It's more about mass. Whichever one weighs more and is more dense will give me more SAF on the back end. The failure of any of our competitors would be to try to convert garbage into SAF. Converting rice into something that's liquid is stupid. You can do it, but you're losing a lot of energy doing it, and that's why they're failing. You need to convert something with a higher calorie count that's less organic. Like a tire converts into the best calories you could possibly get. First of all, it's hazardous. It's got a lot of chemicals in there that you don't know what it is. Tire company's not gonna tell you, but that's the best fuel money can buy, and it lasts a long time. That's why if you burn a tire, it'll burn for weeks, one tire. So, to answer your question, we will most likely shred all of the plastic that comes in, and it'll be mixed. When you shred a tire or any type of plastic waste, you save 10 times the space. And you get rid of the mosquito nest that comes with it, because mosquitoes can't nest in a shredded tire. They need something that can collect water. And in America, especially in New York, New Jersey, you have mosquito nests that are so deep, they have the tires stacked 10 feet high and for acres. So we first shred everything. After we sort it, we shred it, we separate the storage, we pelletize the MSW in one storage area, and then we pelletize and have the plastic shredded in the other area. It's all mixed. If we end up getting some waste oil or something like that, we literally throw it on top of the plastic to increase the BTUs and the calorie count of the plastic. You get a higher concentration of oil during that process. But it's very simple. The equipment is very simple. It's nothing but a barbecue grill like a Traeger grill or Oklahoma Joe grill that has a thermostat on it, a reactor, and an auger that feeds based upon temperature. It's that simple. It's not complicated. You don't have to go to college and all that stuff to learn this stuff. It's simple. I mean, it's ultra simple. And it's available to everybody, and it'll clean the planet. The landfills are gonna be gone. They have to go. And we're gonna start cannibalizing the landfills that were already filled. After we go and we can get rid of the demand for human consumption was ever increasing as more people continue to fill the planet. Once we meet that demand, that is a real problem for my area. Then we could go, and Edward was like, look, put some machines at the landfill. Let's chew those up too. There's a lot of energy there. That'll save the planet too, because those landfills send out methane, invisible gas you can't see or smell, every day into the environment, which is bad for us too. So the plan is after we get to the actual feed that you're talking about, we'll cannibalize the landfills next.
Anybody else? All right, just a very, very briefly, how do you think that institutions like these energy regulatory institutions, have they been able to support you in this? Because the kind of a startup that you talk about is like amazing miracle, seems like.
Yeah, the technology that we're using, as Nate was mentioning, is not new. The only difference is that the manufacturer we're working with was able to create it smaller and scale it to a point where it processes more garbage. Like a plant that does what our plants do costs around 100 million. Because we were able to partner with the manufacturer and show them, I built a financial model and show the manufacturer, you make 5 times more money doing this than keep selling your units at 75, 100 million a unit.
So that basically is the reason that you were able to raise this capital so quickly as well.
Because, again, these units are already in work. I mean, it's not something that's not working today. Like the unit that we went to see, one of the units we were able to go see physically is in Varna, Bulgaria. When we went there, the government owns it, and we had to get government clearance and permission to be able to look at it. But we looked at the process for a 48-hour period. We saw the pyrolysis oil, we saw the plastic going in. And the thing with the manufacturer is the same thing that a lot of geniuses have, which is they are afraid that somebody's going to steal their patents, they are afraid that somebody's going to create and replicate their technology. We haven't advanced as a society because of that fear. We were able to convince them that this was too good for them to keep only for themselves. All of the companies that do this today were owned by them and a government somewhere.
Well guys, I hope you enjoyed the conversation, and it's a very interesting startup. I think they have sort of, I'm going to use the Theo's jargon, they have dunked it from a 3-pointer, I guess. Right? Thank you so much everybody. Thank you Edgar, Adil here, Theo,